And you say Shot City, Shot City, Shot City. I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then? Yeah. Do you think about me now and then?
And we are live in the Fantasy Lounge. As always, Mikey Mack on the mic. And to the left of me, the commish. And Randy, another draft has come and gone into the record books. How did Saturday night go, in your opinion?
You know, we started out a little late. That's to be expected with 12 degenerates. But I thought it was fantastic. Great turnout. Great turnout. Shout out to Thomas showing up. Shout out to Marky Mark for setting up everything. And Bob for hosting. Big Bob, shout out. It's last year I think it might be at the Hanson household.
Kudos all around. You know, we even had Frings on the grill, flinging some burgers for us, so we appreciate that as well.
Yeah. Ty Frings cooking it up.
Maybe a little rare on the meat, but, you know.
Some rare burgers coming your way. You know what? That was kind of the key I told them. You know what? Get these guys a little food poisoning. Maybe they won't draft as well.
Sounds about right. Now, the big issue, got everybody talking in the league, the injury to Jordy Nelson, ACL out for the year. Do you regret, Randy, having the draft as early as we did?
It's a little early this year. It's August 22nd. A little early, but you know what? We had to do it for Gallagher. As always, the league revolves around Gallagher. Even though he's statistically probably the worst player in the league.
Probably.
But he's a character. You got to give it to him.
I mean, the draft just wouldn't be the same without Gallagher. So we had to make the combinations. I know, Waldo, you're not too happy right now, losing your number 2 receiver. I wouldn't be either, but, that's just the breaks of drafting around.
A little karma coming Waldo's way. A little karma coming at you fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll get into your and Waldo's rivalry in a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this week we're dedicated to breaking down each team in our league's draft. And, of course, we should start with, give the man his respect, Ryan Allenberg's team. So we're going to start with Ryan's division, and we're going to go from there. Now, if we're looking specifically at Ryan Allenberg's draft, he started with running back. He takes Jeremy Hill in the second round. Do you like that pick? He passed on DeMarco Murray, LaShawn McCoy. Where do you rate that pick, Commissioner?
Jeremy Hill, I think, I think Ryan's still riding high off the championship run he had with Jeremy Hill last year. I think it's a little too early.
Now, I mean, he's going back to the well. Obviously, Jeremy Hill, like you said, led him to the promised land. Do I think Jeremy Hill is going to have a great year? I mean, he rushed for 1,200 yards last year. In some limited action with Gio Bernard healthy, who's to say that his time isn't cut a little bit?
Gio's still the third down back. That's the thing. I think Ryan's he's feeling himself after last year. He trade raped Lewis to get Odell Beckham and Jeremy Hill probably at the most crucial time of the year when they peaked at their highest point. But I think Jeremy Hill this year, it was too soon. Too soon. Should have waited.
Yeah, at what point do you wait? I mean, I don't know who you're going with. I know he was heavy on C.J. Anderson, and he had the opportunity to draft C.J. Anderson, decided against it. C.J. then goes to McCarthy at number 6 as the 6th pick in the second round. I mean, we'll see. I mean, give the man his due. He knows what he's talking about. Obviously, he knows what he's doing. He won the league last year. We'll see. Now, another interesting thing about Ryan Allenberg's team is the 2 quarterback situation. He goes Cam Brady, back-to-back rounds. What's the mindset behind that?
Well, Brady's out at least 4 games. I don't believe he's going to be out 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be reduced, but you got to go Cam. Cam's going to take over for those first 4 weeks before Brady, and then you got trade bait. Trade bait with Cam.
Is Cam going to be tradable?
Cam's statistically, his rushing has went down every year, and now without his number 1 wide receiver, Calvin Benjamin, I don't know.
No. That's true.
You're gonna start Brady. You're gonna start Brady after week 4. After week 5 because he's got the bye.
I'm higher on Cam than most people. Last year, he only played based on last year's pass defense. The Panthers only played 2 teams in the top 10 passing defense last year. I think Cam could have a good year. Now the question is, who's he throwing to? Devin Funchess, Philly Brown. Obviously, Greg Olson's gonna get his. But I think Cam does have some value. It'd be interesting to see what Ryan could do. Maybe Cam starts off really hot for him. And he could trade Brady. I mean, I don't know. With our league, though, it's hard to trade quarterbacks. I've went down that road before, and it's hard to get the value that you're looking for. I mean, we'll see. Now, one thing I really liked about Allenberg's draft is what he did from round 7 on. I think he had probably the best draft from round 7 to 15. He's got some high-quality value. We're talking, I like where he drafted Eddie Royal in the 8th round. He gets Aguilar.
Royal!
The Bears guy. He gets Aguilar, a young rookie who's capable of doing big things, and then he also gets Delaney Walker, who's been a productive tight end. Now, out of those 3 picks, who do you think has the biggest impact for Allenberg's team?
I would have to go Aguilar. You know, you got the Eagles. Eagles are gonna a lot of catches are available there now. Jerry Macklin's gone. For sure, I'd go Aguilar.
Yeah, I mean, he's already had a good preseason. I believe 7 receptions and 106 yards in the first 2 games. And one thing not to look away from is that Jordan Matthews last year had a big year with Sanchez as his quarterback. Do I think Bradford's an upgrade from Sanchez? I do. Now, whoever wins the starting job, I'm assuming it's going to be Bradford. I think the ball is going to be passed around in Philly, and I think Aguilar could have a big year.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, one more thing. Ryan Allenberg drafted probably the best person he could probably draft in the round he did, and that was Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Now you'd be I'd say by round 5, whenever you draft, you'd be drafted now at least.
Yeah.
He's top 15 wide receiver, I'd say now.
And I believe
Of course, Ryan mucks into it, but
no, that was obviously the bad luck of Jordan Nelson going down, but that turns into goal for Allenberg. Now, what's interesting about Ryan's team, he has a lot of great wide receiver 3s.
Maybe low 2s.
Low
high
2s,
3s.
high 3s. It's going to be interesting to see what he does down the stretch. I think he could package maybe like a Keenan Allen and Devontae Adams and maybe get himself a top receiver, possibly. It's going to be interesting. You know, Ryan's creative with the trade market.
I think Hopkins could be. I think he has potential to be top 10 wide receiver in the league.
I mean,
a lot of catches coming his way.
Yeah, I like Hopkins. I think he's a great 2, decent 1 though.
Yeah. The question is he falling in love with too much hard knocks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know though. I mean, I like DeAndre Hopkins. I really do. I mean, we'll see. But all in all, I think Ryan's draft, especially with the Devontae Adams hit, just added more depth to it.
For me personally, I think Ryan's best pick besides Adams was got to be Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley's a sleeper. He's coming off the ACL injury. He's finally active to play. He's active to practice. And watch around week 5 and 6 when he starts getting a lot of the load. Dude's going to be a workhorse.
Yeah, people are very high on Gurley. I know I heard Matthew Berry talk about it as well. We'll see. I mean, one thing though, Allenberg, he drafted running back heavy. So again, maybe Gurley could be some trade bait down the road. Now, if we move on from Allenberg, we talk about Dave Steuben.
Oh, Steuben.
Stubes.
Broke ass.
Already very active with 3 transactions, over under 100 transactions for Steuben this year.
Over under?
Over under.
Over. He personally pays for the draft board each and every year. Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, so
he might pay for the winner of the league's ring this year too, as well.
Possibly. I mean, Dave, probably the most criticized person in terms of transactions, but there's a method to his madness. He's always very competitive. We'll see. But usually he ends up picking up a guy and then he'll drop him right away. So we'll see about that. Now,
Dave's biggest nemesis has got to be himself. He's the king of the mindfuck. King of the mindfuck.
Dave does do a lot of thinking.
Overthink. Overanalyze.
And maybe that's what led to a lot of interceptions in his high school career.
He also led the division strikeouts too.
So
they're multi-athlete. He
could be overthinking at the plate as well. But now, if we're going, let's go into specifically about his draft. He goes Le'Veon Bell first pick with the third pick. He goes first. Dave's first pick. Do you like the pick? Do you not like the pick?
Le'Veon Bell. We fall in the character of it's a yearly game, right? You got the whole season, but it's mainly a weekly. You need to win weekly.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You understand what I'm saying? So the first 2 weeks, all right, chalk it up. Toss someone else in there. Who's he got? He's got Shane Vereen.
He's got C.J. Spiller as well.
He's got C.J. Spiller. You can put him in. You can plug him in for 2 weeks. When week 3 hits, when Le'Veon Bell's back, you know what you're getting out of him. You're getting a number 1 running back in the league.
Yeah, I agree.
I say he's our generation's Marshall Falk. My fault.
The thing, I don't like the pick. I was very critical of Dave when he first made the pick, just because 6 to 7 wins is going to get you in, and with the parity in our league, you can't afford to lose. We can't afford to give away a week. Who knows? Without Le'Veon Bell, he could lose week 1 and 2 based off that, and it's so hard to make up ground in that capacity in our league. I'm just not a big fan of giving up W's with not having your best player on the field.
This is totally off topic, but let's bring up the point. Would you rather lose week 1 or let's say week 1 or week 2 and be the low seed so you have the opportunity for the first transaction or what?
To me personally, I mean, I need every win.
You
whenever
got
I
the
can
first
get it.
out. You're the first person out the waiver wire.
I mean, regardless of that makes sense. I'm confident in my team enough that I don't need the first waiver pickup. But granted, that is important. I need every win I can get. So if I need to win week 1, I need to win week 2, I need to win week 3. I want to win every game. That's my point. I don't know. Now, the real issue though with Steve could be his wide receiver depth. I mean, he goes Evans, Jarvis Landry, Aquan Bowman. Those are just going to be his top 3 already.
Aquan Boland's old as balls.
Bowman is old, but he had a productive year last year. Already though, Mike Evans with a hamstring, is that concerning to you?
I think Mike Evans overall. Last year, he had 10 games where he had less than 55 yards receiving.
Okay.
You know, he's too TD dependent. So the question is you're basing your whole fantasy draft as your number 1, Mike Evans, on TDs. And we know is everything. TDs come fluky each year.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the ability to score in the red zone. You know, the hamstring.
He's a big threat, though.
Hamstrings with receivers and running backs are always,
Especially early.
they always give me a little hesitation. So that'd be big if Evans' hamstring does not, heal the way it's supposed to. Now I know people are high on Jarvis Landry. What about you?
You know what? He's number 1. You know who's throwing him the ball?
Ryan
motherfucking Tannehill. My man.
I mean,
You know what? I love it. I love that pick. I think he's a solid number 2 wide receiver.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I like wide receiver 2 in fantasy. I'm just worried that what's Dave gonna do? You know, if say Mike Evans goes down, is he gonna be able to handle that absence? Now he goes C.J. Spiller over Gio Bernard and Jonathan Stewart. Do you like that pick?
I think I'm going with Gio. I think it all depends on CJ's health. Let's see if CJ takes over that Sproles role in the New Orleans offense.
I think that's what
you know they're gonna start running the ball more.
Oh.
That's what they want to go to. But you know what? If they're gonna be down all the time, it all depends on their defense.
See, I'm high on Spiller. I really am. I think he has the potential to grab 80, 85 balls, and I think
80, 85 balls.
I really do think so. I really do. Now, I mean, with Graham gone, Colston's not what he used to be. Stills is out. I mean, I think that Spiller has the unique ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Breeze likes to dump it down. Now, I'll go with the statement. I think Spiller by week 6 is going to be Dave's everyday running back over Justin Forsett. That's just my opinion. That's what I think could happen. I think he could be that productive that he's worth a start down the road. Now, we covered Dacey. Now let's talk about the much maligned, the much criticized Lake Jabba. Is this the year where he kind of is this his best draft he's ever had in his career?
You know what? I have to tip my hat to Late. He's one of my arch rivals. The man brought his A game this year. I don't know what he was doing. Maybe he was listening to some podcasts.
Maybe
he was listening to this one. Who knows? But he brought his A game.
Now, I think the one knock, though, on Lay's team is that it's extremely old. In fact, 9 out of the 15 players on his roster are 30 and over. Is that going to come back to hurt Jim Jabs?
He drafted pretty well. The year was when we graduated Oklahoma in 2008. But I'm really questioning because I think he's stacked at running back. Stacked.
Yeah.
He has potential to win a lot of games just based on his running back's performance.
AP and DeMarco. Is that the best running back duo in early?
I believe so.
It could be. Now, real quick, let's say just brought up AP. All right, in his last full year, AP did run for 1,300 yards in 2013. Do you see that again this year?
Every year AP has played a full season, not counting last year, whatever the scandal of last year. He's had multi-touchdown years. It's big. I think he had a whole year to recuperate. He didn't get hit at all last year. I think he's coming out strong. He's got something to prove.
Now, see, I know the game of football. I play Madden, right? It's fast. It's a fast game. Is there any rust factor for AP? I mean, the dude hasn't really seen live action in about, a year.
The man came off an ACL injury and played in 9 months. He's a
true.
legend. He's a freak.
That is true.
You can't put stats with AP.
Okay, I mean, I agree with that. I think he has a big year. I think if anything, I think DeMarco rushed for 1,800 yards last year. I don't see that happening. I think DeMarco, maybe 1,200, 1,300 guy. I think AP and DeMarco are going to be very suitable for Lake. The question is wide receivers, right? I think in order for Lace's team to be great, he needs Amari Cooper to be great. Do you see Amari Cooper being great?
I called it in the last week's podcast. You got me on record. I believe Michael Crabtree is going to have a better year than Amari Cooper.
Okay. So, with that being said, over or under 1,000 yards for Amari Cooper this year?
You know what? I'd give him right at 1,000. Right at 1,000.
Now, keep in mind, last year, no Oakland Raider receiver caught over 75 balls and had over 800 yards receiving.
I think it's a new Uricar. Second year in the league. I think that offense, maybe the Raiders actually have some hope to be actually decent.
I think their offense will be better. I think Cooper is a good play, but I don't think he's going to be that receiver that Lake needs in order to really be a serious contender in our league. Now, if we close out the division, the newcomer Mike McCarthy had himself a pretty good draft. Overall, your impressions on the way McCarthy drafted?
You know, he looked nervous. You know, first year under spotlights. He's been the crowd for what, 4 or 5 years now? Been the crowd spectating. Once you get between those lines, it's a whole different game. But I thought he did a pretty decent job. Mr. Mack.
There was a little criticism. I mean, the man took a long time in between picks. We got to speed it up a little bit next year, McCarthy. But other than that, I thought he was diligent. I thought he was thorough. I thought he did his research. So job well done, Mr. McCarthy.
He did shotgun a beer like a legend.
He did. And, I mean, that's impressive, too. I know when I shotgun a beer, I do about half of it.
A lot of spillage.
And then I throw the rest out because I'm not about that life. Now, we already touched about best running back duos. McCarthy has a pretty good one himself. In fact, there was a stretch of 4 straight draft picks going running back. Those 4 teams went running back in round 1 and 2. He goes with Lacy, C.J. Anderson. Where do you rate that as running back duo?
I think it's big, especially with Jordy out. I think Lacy has potential to be the third down back this year. I think you're going to see him a lot more in the third down sets.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lacy is going to be rely on a little bit more than maybe he would have this year. I mean, I think he has a big year. I mean, the dude's right in his prime. I mean, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, just standard day in the office for Eddie Lacy, if healthy, obviously. Now.
But the question, he did not do this. He didn't handcuff Eddie Lacy.
That's true. With
James Stark's still on the waiver wire, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not a bad idea. Maybe give a handcuff.
Absolutely.
To Eddie Lacy. Because, I mean, if Lacy goes down, I mean,
you know it's James Stark's spot. You know that spot.
Yeah, you know James Stark's coming in. Now, I mean, especially if you lose Eddie Lacy, is he going to be able to recover? I don't know. Now, at tight end, he goes Jordan Cameron. Again, last year, obviously he was hurt. 10 games, only caught 24 passes. The year before that, though, he had a big year.
Breakout year.
I mean, he caught like 80 balls
All-pro.
900 yards. Where do you see Jordan Cameron this year?
I see he's a top 10 tight end.
I agree, top 10, but I mean, is that saying much?
I'll give him top 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cameron has a good year. I don't think he's top 5, and I think to be relevant at the tight end position, you need a top 5 tight end. I mean, everybody after 5 is kind of whatever. So I mean, I think
plug and chug when you get there.
It's plug and chug. I think if Cameron gives McCarthy, maybe 70 catches for close to like 800 yards, I think that's a good year. I think that's a good pick.
Got a great quarterback throwing though.
Yeah. Now, Devin Funchess has the ability to be this year's Kelvin Benjamin. Ironically, he's on the same team, and ironically, Kelvin Benjamin got hurt. How do you see Funchess playing out this year in Carolina?
He's a Michigan boy. Gotta go blue. But someone's got to catch the ball out there.
Yeah.
Who else are you going to play on that team?
Philly Brown, Jared Boykin.
I'm not seeing anything too spectacular. You still got Ted Ginn there, but
yeah.
If it's going to be anyone, if anyone should be on a roster, anyone draftable, it's Devin Funchess.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first couple weeks are going to tell a lot about Funchess. I like him. He's about 2 inches smaller and about 25 pounds less than Benjamin, but I mean, he's got the same amount of upside. I think he has a good year, and I think with Funchess having a good year, that kind of makes McCarthy's team that much more impressive. And I think McCarthy has sneakily one of the best teams in our draft-wise, drafted one of the best teams in our league. Now, as we switch divisions, good old battle for Jerusalem. Let's talk about your division, Kamish.
Oh, the division. You got 2 Arabians, 1 Jew, and a Catholic. You know what? The battle. It's a battle.
It's going to be a dogfight.
It's a Crusades, pretty much.
Arguably, maybe the best trash-talking division in our league.
Oh, I would say so. Especially with Jew in there.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of fireworks, between you and Waldo. I know Simo is always very animated. You got to love Simo in our league.
The question is, has Gallagher took off the toilet seat from around his neck?
I mean, I don't believe so. He kind of wears it as like a badge of honor, which is kind of concerning to me. But at the same time, I don't expect Gallagher to be the teeth again this year. It can't happen. It just
Can't
no.
or won't?
I don't see it happening. We'll see though. Now, we got to start with the person who finished second in our league. Give the man some respect. Let's talk about Waldo's team. Obviously, the big news is the injury to Jordy Nelson. I mean, it's a tough break. Now,
Karma.
I would say karma. I like Waldo. He's a good guy. Now, the question is Charles Johnson the answer? And is it wide receiver 3?
Absolutely not.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? I think if anyone has fantasy value as wide receiver on the Minnesota team, it's got to be Mike Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I always like to stay away from receivers with young quarterbacks. I know him and Teddy Bridgewater have a nice rapport, but in 11 games last year, Charles Johnson caught 31 balls for, I think, 400 yards, a couple TDs. I know he came on strong late. I'm unsure. Again, you mentioned Wallace. He's going to be a big part in their passing game. Kyle Rudolph, a healthy Kyle Rudolph, would probably be a nice security blanket for Teddy Bridgewater. You got AP and Asiata out of the backfield going to catch some balls. I'm not 100% sure Charles Johnson's going to be the answer. And I think that's big, too, because he did go wide receiver, and he does not have much depth at the running back. Speaking of running back, Amir Abdullah. I mean, he passed on a lot of proven running backs to draft Abdullah. Spiller, Stewart, Gio, TJ Yeldon. Again, Yeldon's not proven, but,
Joyke Bell is going to be the number 1 back.
That's the thing. There's kind of uncertainty with him and Joyke. That's how you kind of forecast the Lions running back situation.
It's going to be Joyke. He's going to be the workhorse. I think Abdullah's got big playability, but I think a lot of his points are going to be based on big plays, and you can't be having big plays every game.
And one thing about Stafford too, I think he trusts Joyke Bell in the passing game and in pass protection. I mean, if Abdullah could come in and show that he is a pass catcher and can pick up the blitz, he could play, but I don't think at the start. So I think that's going to be interesting to see what happens with Waldo's running back situation. Now, he does have a big time combo at wide receiver quarterback, Romo, Dez Bryant. How do you like that combo in terms of receiver quarterback?
I think it's one of the best combos in the league, absolutely.
Yeah.
Dez Bryant got paid, though. Man got paid.
I mean, he's out here just throwing punches, too. I mean, the last thing you want is Dez Bryant in a fight breaking his hand. Now, one thing, though, this has been probably the most productive quarterback-wide receiver combo. Combined the past 2 seasons, 29 touchdowns. I mean, I think Dez is going to get his. Am I as high on Romo? Do I think he's going to have as good of a year as he did last year? I'm not sure. I think losing DeMarco hurts them. I think teams could stack against the pass a little bit more.
Still got the best O-line in football, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Randall has a good year, I think Romo as just as good as a year. We'll see how the running back situation plays out for Waldo and Tony Romo. Now, when did this happen, you and Waldo's rivalry? I feel like you guys just absolutely hate each other.
No, there's a lot of resentment in our rivalry. I think it started back in the Harnu days.
Okay.
Waldo's the kind of guy that just doesn't know when to shut up.
Yeah, but
how awesome is it that we're playing week 1, too, especially after that Jordy Nelson injury?
And if I'm not mistaken, you guys have a bet going on? Or is that I thought at the draft I overheard Waldo thought he was going to beat you both times you guys played?
Oh, no. He was talking a lot of smack, and I asked him to put some money up, and he started going back on his word, That shows, is he really confident, or is he all talk?
With that being said, though, Waldo's team with Jordy Nelson is, a legit team. Without him, I think Waldo's going to have to scratch and claw in order to be relevant in our league this year. But I think he can do it, though. One thing about Waldo, undercover, sneaky, knows what he's doing. I give that.
He's a sneak.
Yeah.
A snake.
Well, I got faith in you, Waldo. I mean, I think he could pull it off, but it's going to be a grind this year. You're going to have to fight for it. All right. Now, probably arguably one of the most competitive teams in the past 3 years has been Simo's team, and let's talk about his draft real quick. Now, he gets Marshawn Lynch in the second round. Is that the steal of the draft?
I think it has to be. He was talking before I had his ear. He's talking right next to me. He's like, should I go Marshawn or should I go Julio? What happens? He drafts Julio, come around, gets Marshawn. You know what? Sometimes it just works out that way.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Marshawn Lynch. The past 4 years, double-digit touchdowns. I mean, goal line, he's unstoppable. Like, there's sometimes when you watch football, you're like, man, they're probably not going to get it in. If it's first and goal, like, there's a good chance they might not run it in. I mean,
Yeah, especially last year.
yeah, especially last year. But I mean, with Seattle, that goal line touches, he's probably going to see in a drive at least 2 or 3 goal line carries. And you got to like those odds of him getting in the end zone.
Is this the year he finally plateaus, though?
No, I don't think so. The dude's a freak.
Skittles.
The dude's an absolute. Now, Semo spent his 3rd and 4th round picks on new Indianapolis players. He goes Gore, Johnson, round 3 and 4. How do you like those picks?
I think Andre Johnson's got a lot of upside. I think he finally has the quarterback that he's always wanted.
I mean, that's always been the kind of what's followed Andre Johnson's career, right? If he had the quarterback, if he had someone to throw him the ball. Now he does. He is 34, but put it this way. In 2012, 2013, if you combine his 2 seasons, average 1,400 yards and I believe like 90 some receptions.
I think, and you're playing on one of the top offenses, if not the top offense in the league.
Now,
same goes for Frank Gore.
See, I'm not as high on Gore. Last year, the Indianapolis Colts had the 22nd worst run offense. And again, that's a little even deceiving because Luck's going to give you about 17 yards a game. Do I think that Indianapolis' run offense, their offensive line, is going to create enough space for Gore? Not so much. I do think he's productive.
They never had a bruiser like that, though.
But but Gore is, got a lot of miles on the legs.
Gore we trust.
Gore's not the type of guy that's going to, cut out to the outside, break out to the outside. Like, he's up the middle, one cut, go. And do I think that he's going to be able to get those holes that he needs in order to break out big games? I'm not 100% sure on that. But we'll see. I mean, Gore always defies everybody. People thought 2 years ago the dude was done, right? Now, he has a mini combination in Eli Manning and Victor Cruz. What type of fantasy value does Cruz have?
I usually like guys the year after coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
But he's not the number one. So the whole offense is based on Victor Cruz. Now with Odell Beckham as your number one, he's going to be getting double teamed. Victor Cruz could be getting a lot of catches out of slot, especially in PPR. Could be a PPR monster.
He also, though, has Ruben Randall on the side and also James Jones, who is, in his own right, a productive slot receiver. I mean, I like Cruz. I think if Cruz gives him about 70 catches, maybe goes for 1,000 yards, I think that's huge for Semo. We'll see. I don't know if he has that in him, but we'll see. Now, finally, let's talk about the Teats.
The Teats.
Matthew Gallagher. He gets
Navy.
the first overall pick. It goes
2 years in a row. How about that?
Well, I mean, this time he was given the first pick by Semo. An interesting strategy. Now, he goes Rodgers first. Are you second-guessing going quarterback first?
You can never second-guess drafting Aaron Rodgers, best player in the NFL.
Yeah, I agree. He only threw 5 interceptions last year, so interceptions are huge in our league, the -3. Now, he also then follows it up and going Randall Cobb. Does he have the best wide receiver quarterback combo in our league with Rodgers Cobb?
In our fantasy football league?
Yeah.
I believe so. I think Randall Cobb, now that Jordy's out, top 5 wide receiver.
Last year, Cobb went 91 receptions for 1,300 yards. I think one thing you gotta like what the Packers do with Cobb, they put him pretty much anywhere in the field. They line him up in the backfield. Sometimes they put him in the slot. It makes it really tough to guard him on a consistent basis. So that's why I think he had a huge year.
Absolutely. He's also playing in the North. Who's going to guard him?
That's a great
Who's
question.
your shutdown corners in the North?
I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Exactly.
It's definitely not Corey Fuller.
Yeah. So.
Now, Gallagher has an interesting oddity about Gallagher's team. He has 7 running backs on his current roster. Is that a sign of depth, or maybe a sign of weakness at the position?
I think it's one of those plug and chug. One of them's going to hit. One of them's got to hit, you would think. But it's also Gallagher.
That's true. I mean,
the guy's got probably some of the worst luck in fantasy football history.
He does. I mean, he has Jacksonville and San Francisco's running back core. So that's 4 of his running backs. He also has Tevin Coleman out of Atlanta. I think he's going to go running back by committee. I think he has enough to be somewhat relevant at the position, but is it going to be enough? We'll see. Now, arguably, I mean, Gallagher has one of the best tight ends in football. Greg Olsen last year, 2nd in receptions by a tight end, and also 2nd in yards.
He had 123 targets last year.
Yeah, so again,
you think that goes up? Absolutely. Who are they going to throw to?
That's a great point. So he benefited a lot from injury. With Jordy going down, Cobb's value has increased, and also with Calvin going down. I think Olsen has another huge year. Maybe sneakily behind Gronk, the second best tight end in the league. So, now, that pretty much wraps up our coverage of the first two divisions in our Sold Out Touchdowns League. We have a new segment. Before we end the Fantasy Lounge, we have a new segment called the Commissioner's Corner. And this is where our much maligned, often made fun of, often criticized commissioner has a chance to sound off on what's on his mind. So, are you ready for the corner today, Commish?
This is one of those things you step in my office. Because a lot of things were said, mainly under people's breath and through group text. Over text. Through a text. This trash talking. You know what? Be a man. Say it to my face, boys. Yeah, get pissed, Kane. We're pissed. Already you're the worst draft. Already you're the worst commissioner. Listen up, fuckers. I am the glorified babysitter of you 11 degenerates. I listen to your shit each and every year. Come on, Kane, give it to me. Every year I do this stuff. So what is this? You're going on year 4 that I took over the commission? I had to replace Andy, glorified George Bush, screws up everything. I'm like Obama in this bitch. 4 more years. How about that? This guy can't even remember a password, and he's going off on me. I throw probably the best draft you've ever been in, ever will be in. Okay? And you know what to top it off? Already you can't draft, already you can't win. What does Yahoo say? This award goes to the team with the most projected season points based on weekly optimum starting lineups, a.k.a. best drafter, the commish, your very own. Okay? I have, 4 starting running backs? Number one. Probably the best wide receivers. I would put them against anyone. Hate on Allen Robinson.
Stop.
You know,
Stop.
I went and bend the ear of John Clayton, Mr. John Clayton at Dick's restaurant the other day. And he says, you know what? 2 of my sleepers. You know who they were? He actually gave me 3, and I drafted all 3. So if this one's going out to Clayton, if I fuck this up. All right? Ryan Tannehill, saying potentially be a top 5 quarterback. Allen Robinson, key sleeper, solid number 3 wide receiver. And Zach Ertz, I'm calling it now, top 5 tight end this year.
I guess we'll find out. That was an awfully nice rant by the commission. They had a segment of Commissioner's Corner, and that about does it.
You don't want to be in the Commissioner's Corner on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you do not. And I think that about does it for this week's installment of the Fantasy Lounge. As always, if you'd like to be a guest on the Fantasy Lounge,
come on down, 33rd and Emerald.
Don't hesitate to call, contact us. We would love to have a guest for next week's show. Next week's show, we'll chronicle the last division, the Little Lebowski Urban Achievers.
Absolutely.
And then we'll also give us our
picks to click. We gotta go over. We gotta go over what's called week 1.
Yeah,
week 1 matchup.
I think we're gonna give the top. We're gonna go power rankings.
Okay.
And then the week before the season starts, we're gonna go first week projections on you. So
3 weeks. 3 weeks away, fellas.
The season is coming.
Yourself.
The season is coming fast. We all look forward to it.
A lot of optimism.
I
know there's a lot of information we gave you guys this week. Stay tuned. It's going to get better.
It's going to get better. And remember, it's never too late to come relax in the lounge. Take care. Have a good night.